Yeah, time to start sharing before getting started. Same page.
Clear? No.
Yep, there we go.
No, they're not.
Hold on, folks. We're just sharing the crap out of this.
I'm going to do this thing.
Okay, wait. Okay, there we go. So, everyone done sharing?
I'm doing that right now. Okay, done.
Oh, and already. Hey, Kat.
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Kat. How you feeling?
Oh, hope you're doing well.
She's battling through the NICU.
Yeah.
Wow, it's hard.
Yeah. So, let's see. Anything else I need to make sure? Okay.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we are live right now. We're just sharing it all over the place. So. Hey, Rayanne.
Rayanne. Oh gosh, she's beautiful.
Love you. Oh, I love her. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, Kat. Okay, so are we ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everyone. New episode of Thru Autistic Eyes. I'm Christopher Casson, and I'm here with all the top 5 finalists of the Next Impactor that went on this weekend. And of course, here we have Sky Nancy Kiesling, who made it to number 5. I made it to number 4. Misty Lane at lucky number 3. Emily Sealand at number 2. And our grand winner, Tamara Hunter, with her trophy.
Love it.
And our host is out.
Oh, there you go.
Good job, Christopher. You've been practicing that, I think.
He's good.
I love Chris. Happy early birthday.
Yeah, actually, my birthday is this Friday, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, nice. Right?
Hold on. Sorry, guys, just answering a message here. So, anyway, we're here. I decided oh, hey, Jeff's here. And hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
And Mary Sterling.
Hey.
So, yeah, we're all here to just start a little bit of a roundtable discussion of our general experience going through the Next Impactor towards the grand finale, where we whittled down from the top 25 to the very sneaky, long way of revealing the top 10.
Yeah.
And then down to the top 5. And I just wanted to ask as the first question of just what was your general experience throughout everything? So let's start with Scott and Nancy.
For me, the whole experience really helped me to stay out of the mindset of depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't know, I don't really talk about it very much. A year ago, I had an accident at work, and I was involved in an explosion, and it blew out my ears and my vestibular system, and I have a lot of, I've had a lot of issues from it. And this competition came at a time for me where I was really mourning, grieving the loss of part of myself, right? I lost a 30-year career. And the way that I look at it is my full name is Walter Scott Kiesling. And I've Scott for 30 years. And I really was grieving Walter, right? And this competition gave me a purpose each day to stay out of the story of, you know, I'm no good anymore. I'm not the man. I'm not bringing home the bacon. I'm not, you know, all of these things that came along with that. And so this competition really, it was so big for me, and to be able to spend the time in the challenges and with my team and with my coach and with all of you and all of the other coaches, it was life-saving. I have to tell you.
Yeah, it was great to have that to watch, for him to have, you know, and for me, it was another level for us to grow as a couple, and it was what we've been asking for, to work together 100%, rather than, you know, kind of work on our stuff, and then sometimes we work on our other careers, and then work on this back and forth. So it was really that dive in 100%, like you were talking about, Emily, this morning, of jumping full in and giving that for finally, like we've been saying for the last 2 years, that we wanted to do that, but we haven't. And the universe kind of threw us into it, because it does that sometimes. It gives you these little, you know, you should do this, you should do that, and you don't.
We call them the whispers, and it was like, how much louder does the freaking whisper have to get? Like,
so we got the chance for that, and it was just constant growth to learn more and more about what is needed in our business together as a couple to grow it, and then to also help other individuals. So it was just growth along the way, 100%.
So let's go on towards Misty Lane. Your thoughts?
For me, it's been, I've gotten multiple lessons out of it, but I think it's given me a lot of confidence. I doubted myself, at least in my book, for so long, in fear of judgment. I got through that, got the book out there, but then it was a fear of, am I really somebody people can get behind? Am I really going to produce the things that I say I'm going to produce for them? And so I went through that, and then, trying to see, are people going to want to listen to what I have to say? Are people going to want to follow me in a movement? So it was a lot of jumping in also for me too, and finding the confidence in that to see where I belong. Yes, this is my purpose, but where do I belong in the purpose? Which message am I really trying to convey? And so, I learned and grew so much in my own message, able to realize that all those things I was trying to say fell under the one transparency umbrella, which is what has allowed me to create my one true message. And I'm very thankful, because I don't think I would have done that in this timely of a fashion had it not been for these projects, this group of people, all the people around me that have just given me advice and helped me and told me what they saw in me, which is what helped develop it. So I'm so thankful for that. And in addition to that, the family bond, the community bond that was born. I mean, you guys, we're gonna be lifelong connected, all of us. I mean, there's no way around it. We all have similar hearts, and like I said before, we can impact. Each of us have our own way to impact. When we combine forces and impact together, can you imagine the ripple effect that will be? Just of change. So I'm so excited about it. So excited.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get to hey Austin. Hey, my top five. Hey.
He's supposed to be studying at the library.
Busted.
Billy, thank you, Billy.
Yep.
Thank you, Billy.
Oh, and of course, Rayanna Scott.
Oh.
Aw.
Thank you. Yeah, we should get together and talk.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Mary.
Hey, Team Melissa.
Hey, Jason. And that's kind of the funny thing with how the top 5 end up being one from each team instead of like multiple. That's kind of a
Yeah.
It was on purpose.
Yeah.
It was on purpose.
yeah.
You're
The
right.
arms of purpose.
It is really cool.
Oh wait, is it the web of purpose now?
I like the web of purpose.
Mhm.
I think you're right. Yep.
Well, you heard it, Lauren. Web of
Pinnacle.
purpose. So next up, Emily.
Oh, is it the same question? I think one of the things, I think it's kind of piggybacking off of what I said in my live this morning, is just like the fact that I was given a mirror throughout this whole competition, and it provided me with so much internal growth that I wasn't expecting. And I don't think I would have gotten all of that in such an encapsulated amount of time, but for this competition. So it really, really, oh my gosh, your dog's so cute. Look at the collar.
Oh, it looks like an Artie.
She looks like that. I didn't mean to interrupt you. She looks like a
No,
little
good.
Your
Well,
dog
I
looks
always-
like my dog.
Your
They
name
could be twins.
Trixie Bell.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna get a call.
You got called out on that. No, but it's just been such an amazing experience. And then to meet everybody. I met Scott and Nancy earlier in the competition. Missy, I knew you for, I think, since like last year. But Tamara, I met you in person for the first time at the rehearsal. And like I said this morning, your energy was just so kind and so warm to everybody. I mean, it was just so crazy. And Christopher, it's the same thing with you. I mean, I felt like I'd gotten to know you through a lot of the lives and everything that I watched with you. And just to meet everybody in person, I think was just monumental. I mean, I just don't ever want to take that for granted. The fact that we have the opportunities to be in the same room together like that for multiple days too, in the same city, in the same locations, and the same experiences. So it was just an all around amazing, amazing process. I wish it wasn't over.
It's not over. Sure.
Well, it's
That's
not
true.
technically over.
That's a good point. You're right.
This is just the beginning.
That's right.
Yep. So now for our winner, Tamara.
Well, the whole experience has been priceless to me. Everything from the team. I'm really big about teams. I'm very big about, Misty knows me well, but I'm really about bringing together people, and I always have been. And this project is one that's what it's all about. And the fact that they did it in teams was I loved. The thing that I got a lot out of, which I really needed, was the nonprofit fundraising piece and finding a way to be creative within a digital platform, because I was struggling with that. I tried to do something for Giving Tuesday this last year, and it was outside the box. I got credit for that. We did okay, but it just wasn't really, I didn't feel like it really went anywhere. And to have the teams and to be able to troubleshoot and be able to play and be creative, and in truth have another nonprofit that in a way I felt such a stewardship over, even more than my own in some weird way, that it was like, okay, I don't want to let this nonprofit down, and there was so much to that. And so then it was a matter of, okay, how do we do this? And getting outside of myself, I think, is really what really helped, because of having a team. Oh, we have one of our coaches.
You gotta come here. You gotta get in on it, Nathan.
So that I really I will forever be deeply grateful for.
I'm not scared.
What is happening? Was there a party and I didn't get invited to it? I'm suspicious of you, especially you, Misty Lane. And Tamara, how, like, you got the course. I'm wondering how you have time to be talking on here. You're not doing the course. You're not.
I know. I signed up for the course today, and I now have it. So it's linked into my laptop, and it's linked into my phone. And I plan on. It's supposed to be only one course per week. So then what do? We like work it multiple times in that 1 week.
We'll talk offline, because I don't want anybody getting jealous about how much of my personal time you're going to get as we build your empire, because you're the next Impactor winner.
Strike a pose with it.
I have to say that, I'm glad that we're all together here, because this is, I think, I do believe that we're all winners here. I do, because of the fact that we are able to take our platforms out there and make the best of what we can do by being associated with a brand that is so spectacular. And, it's like, I'm putting it out there that we are the top 5. We are all ambassadors. And I put it out there today that we are going to be putting season 2 on the networks.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Nice.
We got a major conversation about that tomorrow, but I'm not telling anybody any secrets.
Okay. No secrets. However, wink, wink. We can just put it out there.
Yes.
The intentions.
Yeah, and they're probably
really
watching. They're probably watching, and there's 2 of them that I've been speaking to, and they're probably watching. And I'm just saying, both of you better get off your asses, because I got a 3rd phone call today. So.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
This is good TV.
Oh,
and
my God. And I'm telling you, just this is good TV. But the stuff that happened behind the scenes, that if they could have saw Lauren and I like going at it, like I was going at it like this, and he was kind of like, but I was like,
right now,
I was ducking. I know he's watching. I was like this, ducking and weaving, and he was like, so.
You can't get better, if you will, reality checks when you are facing this program. Really did make us face everything that is happening in our lives. It brought it under such a huge microscope, and you are out there wanting to make a difference in the world. However, you're showing up as a human.
Oh,
right. That's a great point.
That's a really good point. Going through the competition, life is still happening around us, and family things come up. We have to make priorities, but you can still keep that momentum going. And it was very educational. The whole process of it was just amazing to learn and grow through it.
Yeah, and it was very challenging. I think everybody gets faced with with the thing that they need to work on. And then there's a choice. You either work on it or you avoid it, right? And if you avoid it, then you're going to come up with a million excuses. And I mean, I've done it. Everybody has. Like I speak of, the only reason why I speak throughout this entire competition with any authority whatsoever is just because I've been a bigger screw up than all of y'all combined. That's why. That's the only thing that makes me special, is that I've screwed up more than y'all. And that's what you guys are doing, is you're bringing forward the pain, the things that you've gone through. And now you're educating the world. It becomes less and less and less about us and more and more and more about other people, and the more we realize that, and that's what you guys in the top 5 in this entire, competition is showing out there in a bright light, that the more you serve, the happier you are as an individual.
Yes.
You know, because I look at all of you and I listen to your lives and I listen and I know you all as humans in real life, and you're some of the happiest people on the planet. Have your lives been easy? No. Has everything been handed to you on a silver platter? No. But what you are is you're a representative of what happens when you get your ass kicked and you keep going and you smile, right?
Yeah.
That is what you guys represent more than anything else about this show, is overcoming with class.
Thank you, Jason. And on your live the other day, you reached out and you were talking about Nancy and I and our heart and our love. And I just want to say that we love all of you guys, and it really is about how much love we can put out there, how much love we can create in a room with our energy. And I'm glad that came across to you, Jason.
Yeah, it came across really well. I mean, anybody that was at that finale, that I've said it multiple times now, but the overriding energy in the room was love and appreciation. Period, end of sentence. And so anybody can take shots at it from the outside, but if they weren't there, they can kiss my ass, and at the end of the day, it was a beautiful experience, a beautiful one. And you all are the ones that made it that way, right? Everybody held that space, which is tough to do in a world like you're looking for things to take shots at, and what about Misty? She did this or that, and what about Emily? Oh, she thinks she's so cute, and all the
basically a bunch of judgmental little bitches.
Happen to agree, by the way. But at the end of the day, it's about, it's really about holding that space that other people fill with judgment, fear, and discord.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too, Jason, is also giving ourselves permission to love that person that we are too. Because I struggled a lot with that. I didn't feel, after taking someone's life, I didn't feel like I deserved any of this. Like, why should I be getting any of this? I did something horrible. And allowing that space to also tell me that it's okay to love myself through it and do good with it. That was huge.
Love that.
Yeah. So there, the rest of the world,
Jason,
I love that.
With your talk, you blend so much into the background.
I know.
He's just ahead now.
You look like the ball of under head.
What's the problem?
Good. Oh, if you got rid of the zipper, you just had a crew neck, like a black. Oh, you would be a bobblehead.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Look. Okay, there.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That was a mixed reaction. You know.
Well, I saw $0 bills go up on the screen, so I zipped it back up. Tamara's looking for dollar bills. I got a
pretend it's raining. Pretend it's raining.
So here, I got a question for each one of you. One word answer. I'm going to just go around to each one of you. Christopher, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, picking on me. Huh?
Well, all I want to know is one word. What does your future look like now that you've been through this experience, Christopher? I love shutting him down. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like, he was up on stage. Did you guys see when he was up on stage and he started to shut down? I just whispered over to him. I said, "Just say the word fuck." And he started laughing and got right into it. Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh, now we know the story behind the story.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets people going. Okay, Christopher, what's the one word?
Repeat the question.
I guess it's the same word I've used before and through the Challenge 6 video, just limitless on what I can do now with everything I've learned, and it's just all up to me now.
I love that. How about you, Tamara, Tata?
That is what it is. What Lauren was saying.
Today.
You know, I actually was going to say limitless. So, global. Ooh, I love it. Misty Lane?
I would say life shifting, because I really believe transparency is necessary, and I believe it can change lives.
Love that. Nancy?
Possible.
Scott?
Extraordinary.
Ooh, one of my favorite words. I like it. Emily?
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I love it. And the cool thing, like, you couldn't have picked, I've said this multiple times across multiple different platforms. The top 5 is exactly perfect. Like, it was like, you haven't heard anybody, like, you know, I was talking to Lauren about this. Because somebody has had something to bitch or moan or complain or whine about at every single step of this game. You know, at every step of the game. And I told him, I said, the one thing that we know that this got it right was 0 complaints about who won this and who took second and who took third and who took fourth and who took fifth. 0 complaints. You know, and so that's where I think that this all kind of came together, you know, very, very powerfully.
Yeah, I think Patrick has a question for you. What's your word?
What's my word? You know, outstanding. You know, extraordinary is my word. I mean, that was what we talked about that day at that event. It's there. The world is full of people who think they're extraordinary. You guys remember when I asked the question? I said, everybody raise your hand in here if you think that you're extraordinary. Every single human being did it. And then I said, okay, anybody that thinks of yourself as ordinary, raise your hand. Not a single hand went up. Right. And we happen to be in a very extraordinary room. But my point is that we are a world that thinks we're extraordinary, and we take ordinary actions, which create ordinary outcomes.
Yep.
Right. And so we judge other people by their results, and we judge ourselves by our intentions. You know, and that's the flip side of what you 5 have done. You are all extraordinary. And, you know, a lot of the other contestants, I mean, a lot of the people that put this together, like, there's a lot of extraordinary people, but extraordinary happens because of your actions and what those actions create in and of itself in results. And so that's why I love the word extraordinary, because extraordinary is not an opinion. It's not an opinion. It's you optimizing who you are as an individual. And Tamara, I'm watching you, like, you know, this, I honest to God, if I said this, anybody that disagrees with me publicly. But I think that you had decided that this was yours a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? You decided, because you put in the work. It was every single day. I was watching. You put in the work. When people complained, or in your world that you thought you could lean on, right? That you ended up finding out you couldn't lean on them, and and you just kept trudging forward and doing the work. And the thing that blew me away the most was the next day, like Michael Jordan, finishing and winning the championship and going to the gym the night that he wins. You were doing the same shit the day after. It didn't matter, and it didn't count anymore as far as votes go.
Yep. And Christopher was there with us. Yes. Absolutely.
No,
and in fact, I will say that I'm really proud of the team that we created for our nonprofit, in that we are still out there. We are representing the nonprofit because we still feel that there's more to be done because this nonprofit needs it. And so, that's what I am so grateful for too, is that when you find people a purpose, it's not just because of a prize. It's not because of a title or a trophy. It's because there's the need. And that is why when I started this, it was like, okay, I'm all in, and I'm all in because I'm all in. And every night I see my buddies, and how can you not?
And that was my point. That was the thing that we were talking about. I had another talk sort of planned, but when we were talking, it was about your why, right? And when you have your why, it's settled in your own spirit. So many people are running around and they're not settled in their own spirit because they haven't decided, right? To decide, it's to cut off from all other options. That's the Greek root definition of decide, to cut off from all other options. And so many people that are watching this and so many people that compete in life in general, not just in this competition, they don't cut off from, right? When I watch Christopher now, when you guys watch Christopher on his lives and stuff, he's decided I'm successful. I'm an artist. I'm an autism to artism. I'm going to affect and impact the world. He's already decided there's no conflict going on in his own mind.
Damn straight.
Tony Rodriguez said something today that really this goes to that point. Is you put a period or an exclamation point instead of a comma.
100%.
And that's really what it was, right? It's that decision, and not with a pause, not with a hesitation. It's this is it, and that's that, right? And I applaud all of you for that.
Yeah, it's a cutting off point, and it's moving on. And remember that anytime anybody's causing conflict, because it follows some people around. You watched it, right? You watched it with some of the competitors. It's like there's just conflict around them at all times, and it's because they're conflicted here. They're conflicted. They haven't decided. Like, we're going to impact, this with Chemo Buddies for Life, its outcome. Networking for moms, its outcome. Autism to artism, its outcome. Like there's certainty. And then that doesn't leave your brain open for conflict. And when it is open for conflict, it's because you haven't decided for whatever reason, fear, clarity, resources, whatever the reason is, that leaves that piece of your mind open for conflict, and you take it with you, right? And you have conflict with other people. You argue with them. You come up with excuses not to do things. You give things meaning that don't support your pathway and your journey. I don't know. I just don't want, the thing that I don't want to do is, you go into the doctor and you go in and you sit down and the doctor says, "Hey, what's going on? It hurts when I do this." So don't do that, dumbass. Don't do that.
I remember reading that from a certain book.
Yeah.
Oh, and Lauren actually has us a question. How did we each feel when we awoke the next morning?
Great question.
Can I
I'm
start?
going last this time. Yeah, go ahead, Nancy.
I felt upside down.
Yeah.
No, I have to say, I was so humbled and proud of what we all combined accomplished within ourselves, within our team, within this competition. It really was that for me.
Yeah, pure excitement. I mean, even that morning when I got back from the photo shoot, he was still pretty upside down. And I got him breakfast, and we sat for a minute to just kind of clear our heads. And even then, normally when that mode occurs, it's like you can't think straight. And he was still like, all of our ideas and stuff like of this upcoming week, and of course we had the hurricane, but all the ideas of things moving forward were just coming out of us both. And we're sitting there at the table talking, and it's been pure excitement since, because it's like that took so much of our time, and it was exciting, and it helped structured us, and it got us on this path. But now it's like you got catapulted out, and now it's like, all right, we're going, so pure excitement really that next day after the exhaustion.
How about you, Christopher? How'd you feel?
So I go in that mode again.
Just literally, bro. Fuck. Like, that's it. And then you move forward. It unblocks it. It's a magical word for you.
Okay. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I was still in that space of that night at that moment. It's like, I'm fourth. I'm in the top 5. I actually accomplished what I wanted with someone in Team Jason being in the top 5 at the very least. So it's just, it didn't matter if I was in 4th place. It's just, gotta have that representation. And especially just as much, just getting up there because of all the people that supported me. And that's what really got me up there.
I love it. Tamara?
Wow. My first thought was, let's do this. It was like, okay. And then it was, okay, I need a little bit of sleep so I had the energy to do it, because I was completely worn out. And to a point where I knew that if I didn't get a little bit of rest, that there wouldn't be a lot of jets for me to get going and forward again. So, and it's very hard for me to do that. Anybody that knows me well knows that that is one of the hardest things for me to do. And I, in truth, what it was too is that Chemo Buddies for Life, our whole experience is an experience that I have buddies here on this world, and I have buddies that have passed. And I was feeling this whole energy from all of them, kind of like collective, like, okay, we get to go forward and we will be making a difference for everybody that needs this. And so it's like, okay, Tamara, just take a few moments, get your energy together, and then we're going to plow forward and go forward. And so it was just like all of it at once. And it was also feeling like I'm not in this alone. And that was huge, huge, huge to know that a program that I know is meant to be out there in the world is going to go out there in the world, and it's going to be done in such the right way, because we've got the team of amazing people together, and with all of the Next Impactors, because I am very inclusionary. And it was like, okay, we're going to do this, and we are literally going to make an impact throughout the world, and we're going to do it together.
Love that.
Just all of it. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. How about you, Misty?
Well, I woke up exhausted as well. I would say I was very humbled and honored. Like I mentioned earlier in the interview about building the confidence, after not making the top 50, I was pretty devastated, and I really started doubting, do I really have something people want to hear? Is this message something that people are going to get behind? Because what might be important to me might not be important to everyone. So for me, it was very humbling to know that I very well could have been 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 51 places below that. And I was just very proud and very happy that the struggle paid off, that the fight, the not giving up, the fighting to the end paid off. And I was very honored by it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Emily?
I think the biggest thing, and it correlates with the one-word answer that we gave before, but it was that feeling of actually understanding that I'm unstoppable and the nonprofit's unstoppable. Because I think that's something that I've doubted, and that's been a big battle for me and to me for so many years. So I think to go through this whole process and realize that about myself, that I can do anything, truly. And to hit that point, and then to wake up the next morning and it kind of floods you, you're just like, oh, like I can't play this off. I can't shake it down. I can't kind of brush it off and say, no, I can't minimize it. I can't belittle it anymore. I can't belittle myself. And that was a big thing that hit me out of nowhere, and I didn't expect it. But it was also part of the growth process through this whole competition, was getting to that place. So it's just another area that I've grown through the Next Impactor. So
I love it. And it's so important because, you know, I've watched you go through that, of everything that you do that is extraordinary, playing it down because the people in your life wanted you to, right? And it's the tall poppy. Everybody experiences that at some level. And if I was to say, you know, to leave people with one message, that the top 5 here is no more. Like Christopher heard me say it almost every single day. Stop fucking hiding. You know, the world needs to see you guys all in your power, in your strength. And I said, I think if this show did anything, sort of like Misfit Nation, it allows for a space for us all to come together to celebrate and lift each other up when the rest of the world's trying to tear you down. And I love that about this top 5. Each and every one of you, I think, would gladly give up your spot to the next person in line if you thought it would add more value to the world. Like you're all so selfless, you know, and in that selflessness, this is just my message to you. I know Lauren would want me to say this. I know Jeff would want me to say this. And it is that you realize you need to stop hiding, that you are extraordinary people, right? It's the right hashtag. You guys need to put it on every live you do from now on, and just realize that you are all people worthy of admiration. You know, and you playing small does nothing to this world except for cause damage, right? You playing small hurts people. You playing big saves people's lives, right? It's an inspiration. It's an example. And there's not one of you 5 that have the exact same story. Not one of you. And that means that there's, out of 7 billion people, there's a chunk of humans that will attach to you. And they need you to show up so that you can be leaders. And exactly, Lauren just put it there. All 6 of you will be household names within the next year. I agree with that. And by the way, Lauren, I love your picture that comes up every time you post. Freaking awesome biceps in that shot. So anyway, that's it. My word for after the show was next. Next, right? Bring it on, because you guys are powerhouses. And Tamara, I said, one of the things I said to you the night you won, I go, now you got to deal with my ass for the
and I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with that. I am, and and that's the thing too, that I am so flippin' dedicated to this thing, and like I'm back into the game. I'm home now. I got back last night, and it's like I'm so ready to just like start going forward. I got my whiteboards ready to go. I've got my space, like I'm organized, and so it's like.
Yep, and you got into the course. You got in. You did the I love it. You're action oriented. Oriented. I love it.
Absolutely. There's no time like now.
Huh?
There's no time like now.
There's only now.
Because our people, our messages, everybody here, we have people that need us today, this moment in time. Mm-hmm. So every moment that we are not going forward to help with our message, it's basically robbing the world. And that's not what we're all about. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I just love being a part of this group.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let me ask this question. 90 days from now, I live my life 90 days at a time. Okay. So 90 days from now, predictions of where you'll be in 30 seconds or less. Okay. Christopher, I'm asking you now, and I'm going to come back to you. So that gives you 30 seconds for you to say the word fuck and clear your mind and have an answer ready when I come back to you. Okay. And I'm going to start with you, Emily. Where do you see yourself 90 days from now?
90 days, we are going to have our venue picked out for our nonprofit's first conference. We're going to have a date set, and we're going to get our first 3 major sponsors for the event.
Boom. So this is public now. Public, y'all. So you can come back and reference this. If Emily hasn't done that, we have to have like a Zerbert award or something like that. Like something. A Zerbert.
Don't even know what that is.
It's kind of like sherbet, but with a Z.
No, it's a Z, like a Zerbert. Like, you know, when you stick your finger and put it in somebody's ear? Like, isn't that a Zerbert? Or Wet Willy?
That's a Wet Willy.
Wet Willy. At least in my generation.
Or whatever it is.
Wet Willy. Wet Willy.
You make up the word Zerbert just now?
No, a Zerbert is like.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, you do go from somebody. It's a Zerbert.
I thought that was a raspberry.
Maybe.
Raspberry Zerbert. We're just going to call it a Zerbert, okay?
We're going to do something.
Hashtag Zerbert. You heard it right here. I get all of the revenue from that word being spoken from here on out. All right. So we heard what Emily's doing. Scott and Nancy, what are you guys going to be doing 90 days from now?
In 90 days from now, we will have our adventure retreat filled with clients and ready to go to fight their loneliness and build their relationships.
How many people is full?
12. Well,
13. Lucky 13.
Yeah, lucky 13. Patty's our lucky 13. So 12
Lucky
more.
13. Okay, so are you going to be doing it on your boat?
No, it's in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? Okay, so 13, 90 days, it'll be full and ready to roll. Got it. We can check back. Measurable. You see, I love all of this. Misty, how about you? 90 days.
90 days, I will be rolling out with my raw, real retreat for women, 20 women in an intimate setting, a 3-day retreat, deep diving into all those limiting beliefs and discovering journaling and how to use writing to get rid of toxic shame and guilt. I'm also going to be rolling out with filling a room of 150 with a one-stop workshop to teach people all the ins and outs of getting the message out onto paper and what it takes to publish a book, from front cover to back cover to the artwork to every process in it. Because I believe everybody out there needs to write their story and leave a legacy.
I love it. And are you doing that retreat with at Cottonwood with Abby?
No, I am doing this retreat with Missy Lane and a team of people that want to be transparent in the world, and it will be in San Diego.
Location wise, they have a beautiful spot for you to do the retreat. If you don't have one, that's all I was saying was Abby and Mark Moreland.
I'm looking at San Diego for the first one just because I have a lot of connections there, but I'm open to anything.
Got it. Okay, cool. So okay, we got it. We got you. Okay, Christopher, you buddy, 90 days.
I keep thinking about the Zerbert thing. It distracted me. Like, fuck. Oh, great. I lost my train of thought. Tamara.
90 days from now, what are you going to have accomplished?
Okay. Have everything in the website ready. Have flowing with tons of live streams, interviewing all kinds of people and really getting my name out. Really getting the YouTube channel finally up and running with constant content over and over. Getting a system and structure down for my photography so that I will have a lot of the calendar for next year full, or at least half. And what was it? There was something else, but it slipped. Shit.
No, the word is fuck.
Yeah, the trigger word is fuck, okay?
Fuck. What was it? Oh, right. And also get that fundraiser set up for Madison House for April for Autism Awareness Month with a small group. And so that this time, instead of just me doing the paintings, it's a whole group of artists teaming up to raise 5 times the amount that we did.
Love it.
Nice.
I love it. And see how the F word works for you? I love it. It's amazing. Okay, Tamara.
Well, of course, some of this I have yet to find out what some of my coaches are going to be doing. So I just want to open up for that possibility of what it is that
I'll
I
get
am
over it, Lauren.
working with. So with that said, that we will have our Chemo Buddy for Life website, the matching site, up and going, and we will have it populating so that we have we will be starting off right now with the beta where it's general different cancers. By then, I'm hoping we will have enough people in 90 days, I do believe, with getting this message out there, that we'll have enough people that will be starting to even narrow down the field of search so that people are able to really find their different buddies, the cancer buddies, the patient buddy, and the support buddy. That we will be out there also as the ambassador, one of the ambassadors for the Next Impactor, that we will be out there talking about the brand, being able to make sure that the second season is being populated and that it is going on network, because that's going to help all of the first season Next Impactors also. That we also are Chemo Buddies for Life also has sponsorship, that we have mainline sponsors, that it's a win-win-win, and we are not bought by those sponsors that we've stayed away from because they would want to take us over. That we have the sponsors that are going to help us go global, and with that we have our international ambassadors in place to make a difference throughout the world.
So Misty, Emily, her answer is going to be so much different than that after the 12-week course, right? I can't wait. We're going to come back in 90 days after you're done and you've gone through some coaching with me. Your answer is going to be so different, and I can't wait. Look at they're shaking their head. They're like, yep,
Okay, I'm all for that. That's why
Measurable.
Up.
Measurable, yeah. So the idea is you want to take this global, right? And this is just a lesson for everybody watching, because this is a lesson for impactors, is you make things measurable. Okay. And at the end of the day, it's how much money do we need? Because money is a resource that if you're running a company or you're running a 501c3, you got to have it, right? So how much, in what time frame, for what purpose, right? Okay. And just like a magazine or not really a magazine, but let's say a newspaper has two clients. One client is the reader and the other one is the advertiser, right? A 501c3 has two audiences. The person that the chemo buddies, right? That are receiving the benefit, and the people that are donors. Right. And you have to put together a plan for both of them. Right. So you're it's going to be fun. I cannot wait.
It's going to
I cannot wait either.
Your nonprofit out of the water.
Oh, I know it. I know it. I know it. And I know that that's what's been missing. And that's why I'm like, it's like, okay, I know I don't know, but I know I will know. Absolutely. And I'm willing to put that effort and energy in as much as, I'm all in. That's the one thing I can tell you. I know that I know. I'm all in.
I think that's one thing any of us can attest to about you, Tamara, is that you're going to go all in, whatever it takes to get Chemo Buddies out there.
Absolutely, without a question.
That's such a great point, Misty. Is that it's whatever it takes.
Right.
It's whatever it takes, and that's what you all five have in common. It's what Lauren and Jeff have in common, right? For whatever it takes, we got to get this thing across the finish line. We're slave to the project instead of the project being slave to us, to our whims. People they forget that companies are built by people, and people are inherently flawed. Yeah. So businesses are inherently flawed because they're populated by what? Flawed humans. Right. So, here's what I would say. What is, I don't know what the word Vic with a V means, but so the idea is that, so anyway, so what I wanted you guys to do is say how you feel about Lauren and Jeff bringing this opportunity to y'all. And I'm going to go one by one, okay? One by one. Scott and Nancy, you guys start first.
I'm just grateful. I mean, I didn't expect anything going into it. know what to expect, and the way I live things is just to see where it takes us. My drive was obviously the grand package, to be able to have the structure of people that are already where we want to be. But I didn't know the structure I was going to get in that top 25 spot with Melissa. And that alone was amazing. And we just learned so much, and it opened us up so much more narrowed down our messaging and what we're going after and our why and all of that. And it's just going to, I think, unfold so much quicker than it did this last year. This next year, I think, is just going to really be double or triple what we had last year in the sense of growth. And I can't attest to that any more than what Lauren and Jeff brought. It's what they did, and that's why.
Love that. Scott, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would just add that for me, Lauren and Jeff, the heart that they have was amazing, right? What they gave of themselves, what they gave, and what everybody gave, right? But really what they gave of themselves outside of, again, their regular everyday life that we all have to live, was absolutely, and I'm going to use Christopher's word, fucking amazing.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Christopher, what do you got to say to Lauren and Jeff?
Just very hopeful, and before it was really a struggle to find any. So it's just, besides that, I can't really think of a single word to describe how grateful I am. You know?
I love you, buddy. Emily, how about you?
I think the one word that I would say is I'm indebted. I'm indebted to them. This whole thing changed my life in every way, and there are some people who know the impact it's had on my for-profit company as well, and my personal life, and all of that stemming from what I've grown through in the Next Impactor, and none of that could have happened except for Lauren and Jeff's vision and putting that into action. I'm indebted.
Love that. Misty?
I see them both as courageous leaders. Because I feel like being a manager is taking something that's already in place and managing it and keeping it status quo. But to be a leader is stepping up into a vulnerable place and doing things nobody's done before and making shit happen. And that's what I see them as doing. They stepped up in a vulnerable place and courageously led all the way through.
Love that. Love that. Tamara?
I'm trying to come up with one word.
Hard.
You can say several. It doesn't matter. You're the champion. You can do whatever the fuck you want. By the way.
Okay, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it here. You know,
I'm testing too. Watch.
I feel as though there's really not enough words that will adequately explain the impact. I mean, the true impact that these two men having pizza one evening and coming up with an idea that is going to absolutely change the world. It is infinite. The amount of good that is going to come out of two individual human beings. The possibilities are endless. The amount of energy that is going to actually take and explode in so many different categories to then turn what has been a cruel world to so many and be able to give hope and inspire others, and all because of two men that are imperfect, and that that one may have even fought with the Bald Avenger like this, however it may be. There you go. That I will forever be humbled, grateful, all the words that were said here, plus so many more. I mean, seriously, get out the Webster Dictionary and anything that has anything amazing to say about two human beings making a difference in our generation. I know that someday when they look back at some two people that in school, that they're saying, well, you know, hey, who was your hero? I wouldn't be surprised if someday someone will say Lauren Michael Harris, Jeff Levine, because of the Next Impactor. Seriously.
I love it. I agree. I agree with you 100%. And how I would, you know, because I was with them every step of this way. What I will tell you is that, you know, and I said a little bit of this on my Monday show, but I'm going to reiterate it because I think it's important for anybody that may come back and look at the first real interview with the top 5 of the first season of the Next Impactor, right? Is that these guys are just like the rest of us, right? And they took the action to be extraordinary instead of being ordinary. They took the actions. They have had multiple times, like in their lifetime, neither one of them is spring chickens, right? They've had multiple ideas. They've had multiple, right? they had multiple things that they've done. Some of them have worked out, some of them haven't. And the thing that I have ultimate respect for both of them for, you know, from my words, from my lips to their ears, is that they became extraordinary because they decided to execute and they didn't let their baser instincts interrupt destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And how many times in our lives have we ourselves, everybody watching this, everybody that may watch this in the future, me, you, everybody that's on the screen, how many times have we allowed our baser instincts to interrupt our destiny? Because out of fear, because out of repetition, because out of patterns, because out of you know, pettiness, you know, that having that distracted mind. How many times have we, where would we be if we did what Lauren and Jeff just displayed for the rest of us? Eat some fucking pizza and go to work. You know,
I'm in the mood for pizza.
Eat some pizza and go to work.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm proud of them both. I know they're both watching, but I'm very proud of them. And I've worked with from the top to prisoners all the way across the board. And I'm very proud of these two men for what they brought to fruition and for the fact that I'm looking at 6 people, but 5 champions of the first impact of their vision. So that's what I got to say. Christopher, I don't know if that's why you brought me in here, bro, but you know, I don't know how else to do shit but get in and just take it over.
You just dominated my show. So took it over.
Damn. I can fade off into the sunset.
Well, hopefully not permanently.
You're like
floating head into the sunset.
Urban with the floating head, like that's all like.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
Is this what it's like during those those early mornings of hearing that weird noise? Are you seeing like floating heads?
This is what you see.
No, I'll be seeing it now. I'll have to visit.
He's imitating me during Tamara's.
It was like Mecca Lecca High Mecca Honey Ho. You guys remember that from Pee Wee?
Yeah.
No, I don't understand.
I do.
Especially when you bobble it.
I know we need a Jason bobblehead. I'm gonna because I'm just gonna keep fucking around, so I'm gonna go ahead and bounce out of here. But you know, my last word to the 5 of you is thank you. You know, thank you for who you are. Thank you for displaying the actions that create champions. You know, in this day and age where everybody gets a fucking trophy, right? If everybody's special, then nobody is. You all earned it, and you showed the world that was watching, and I think the world that is going to be watching, I think you showed the display of what happens when grace, boldness, courageousness, intellect, and love and gratitude all comes together. You're all five. You guys are all five. All six of you are my heroes, and I love every one of you. And I can't wait to be a part of, whatever happens from each one of you guys, because you're going to change the world. So thank you for playing the game, playing it the way you did, facing down your demons, and just overcoming. So thanks for being such a great example for the rest of us.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us.
Thank you.
Peace out from the Bald Avenger. Now follow the Bald Avenger page. Damn it.
Oh, and well, that and also join Anton J, of course.
I thought I was going away.
Oh, man.
He has the comedy thing down. He does.
Yeah.
Good.
He's going to get
I
far in
love
that
it.
comedy career.
You know what? Healing
Christopher.
through laughter, healing through
What?
humor.
Christopher, how the hell do I get out of here? I feel like I'm trapped. Is there a button? Can you just push?
I could just-
push me out. Push
I can
it, Jack.
Please, video.
All right, Jack. There we go. Oh, and
Not real.
by the way, there's one more.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thanks Jason for taking the time to really put in a surprise pop in. And actually there's one more actually that wants to speak, and I'm just waiting for that person to jump in.
Your dog.
Just waiting.
Lauren.
I think it's
And I know you suddenly have some words for us, and especially Tamara.
Oh, would it be my coach? Coach Tom?
We'll have to see.
Ooh.
This is killing me.
Do, 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 do.
Come on. I don't know what's taking.
Patient ears. Push the button.
Yeah. Taking a while. So anyway, while we wait, how about Lauren's little surprise gag of when he surprised us with the top 10? How did that make you react?
That was genius.
Yeah.
I just think for production value to just being like, wow, everything in between.
Mhm.
Dom didn't know it either. He was just as shocked when he opened it up.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
No, he didn't know. He was like, really? Oh my gosh, okay.
Oh,
I
so
kept
you
thinking-
thought he was actually, oh, it is Todd.
Hey there.
What question is he coming up with? Todd Smith. Oh,
Yay.
What's happening?
What's up?
Is my coach.
What's up?
Well, no, I mean, they all are, but yes, thank you.
I mean,
Coach.
I figured we'd jump in. Since I promised Christensen.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh, we're doing great. How about you?
Couldn't be any better, man. Trying to get someplace where you guys can see me here.
There you go.
I don't think Jason is pleased.
Listen, he's just lucky he got off the broadcast. There's
You
only
two
room
are
for one of
so
us.
cute
on.
together. I mean, the banter between the two of you, it's so much fun to watch.
It's a true bromance.
Wait, between who?
You and Jason, Coach Todd, Coach
Who's
Jason.
Jason? Who's Jason?
The bald adventure.
I've never heard of him. I'm sorry. I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
Sorry. I must have missed something. There was only 4 coaches. I'm sorry. I must have missed it.
I think Jason has a suggestion right there.
Oh, here we go. You might have a little suggestion.
Right, Todd?
That was a little aggressive.
Yeah.
What's that?
There is a hurricane down there by you. I mean,
Well, I was gonna say that, but I didn't think Jason was smart enough to watch the news. So I figured it'd be yeah, a little bit of a hurricane.
Just a
It wasn't
little bit.
actually. It wasn't too bad. There were some pretty bad storms here, but we were very, very fortunate. So I love to see all your happy faces, and it was pretty crazy to see what happened to a lot of the Bahamian individuals. It was pretty sad. So let's all definitely say a prayer for them.
Yeah, most definitely.
Devastating, the marinas and the Bohemian people and what they're going through right now. And there are some outstanding impactors out there right now. There's a chef who rented his own ship. He just rented a ship and filled it with stuff, generators and pumps and water and food on his own money, and he took it down there. And another guy didn't go, and he bought like 150 generators and 1,000 cases of water, and he's given it to pilots who are volunteering and paying for their own fuel and their own planes to get resources down to those people. So talk about impactors and how we're surrounded by them. There are people out there doing it right now. So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We had involved do a lot of sales training for some large timeshare corporations here in Orlando, and they have opened up a lot of the resorts for a lot of the Bahamian individuals to actually, the ones that can actually get here, in South Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale area, and are giving these people homes for as long as they need, which is really, really cool, cutting down some of the resorts. So pretty amazing people doing some awesome things, man. And I got to tell you, it's Puerto Rico went through a lot, but Bahamas, man, I think they got it worse.
Yeah, we talked about Disney, Carnival Cruise Lines.
He's still going. Jason's still going. Like, I don't.
He's like a hurricane.
Listen, Emily, next time you see Jason, give him a hug, please. He needs a hug really bad.
I think it's a hug from you, Todd. I think the hug between you and Jason needs to happen.
Right.
Listen, last time I did that, he grabbed my ass, but he's got really soft hands, so I don't know.
I was going to miss you too. I think that's the thing is the media wants us so desperately to feel like we're so divided. But I remember during Hurricane Harvey, people all come together. I mean, it happens time and time again. There's just so much hope for humanity. And I think that the media just tries to discredit that. They want us divided. Yeah. And it's important that we see this and recognize it. Yeah.
So true.
I want to say one of the things that I noticed.
And sending cruise line ships, and each Disney and cruise and Carnival Cruises put up $1 million.
Yeah.
And are going to help. They're helping the people that are at the Disney resorts, in the Bohemians that work there. They're flying them with stuff. They're sending ships. And so, there is good out there. There's a lot of good out there.
Oh yeah. People doing some great stuff. Tamara, you were going to say something?
Yeah. I wanted to just say, because one of the things I did do was when I wasn't involved over at the mansion or something, I actually was watching this because I thought it was so interesting. The timing sometimes is not an accident. And the fact that we are, a red carpet event for the Next Impactor during a time when there is a true disaster going on, there's a way of being able to look at how we can get a message out there. And I kept thinking, what is the significance of this? What is the significance of the timing? And why? Why are we having this happen during this? And I didn't see that it was an accident. And hearing, Scott, you talking about all of these amazing people that are coming out there. And yes, there's so many that are being highlighted. And the fact that we have a program that is talking about how we can collectively change the world, one impactor at a time, one group of impactors at a time. I don't see it as an accident. And then having so many people that flew back to areas that were being affected. Watching you and Nancy, Scott, preparing the boat. And Todd, you going back, others going back and hearing, okay, how are they doing? And what is the impact of what's happening there? There is really such a need for us to get this brand out there in such a huge way, because I love the fact that there's all the music, entertainment, reality shows and all of these different gamified groups. However, we need to be able to, as a collective group, say, you know what? There are so many amazing people that are willing to go out there like this chef and use their own money to make a difference, to feed people that are hungry and scared and need help.
Yep. And I want to give one more shout out, if you guys don't mind. There's a group that I'm part of, and it's called Team Rubicon. And any support you can give them. Tomorrow they're sending the first group of ex-military and civilian organization that sends people like me who can, do anything, right? I can fix anything. I have a lot of very big skill set, and they take people like me and they send us down there, right? First, I got an email today to leave tomorrow, which I can't do. I'll go in the next wave of Team Rubicon. They call themselves the Gray Shirts, and they're sending the first team down there to start rescues and muck outs and to rebuild houses. And they're an incredible group. And it really is why we all do this, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Help people.
Yes, and you look at the history of our United States even, and you see the fact that, what did we do after World War II? And we had to rebuild Hawaii. We had a war going on. However, the people that could go to Hawaii, they may have been the Flatfoots, they may have been the this, they may have been the that's, but they showed up, they served, they did. And, some of that's been lost. And it's maybe been forgotten. However, it doesn't need to be. And that's why when I was going back to the hotel and turning on the TV and watching what was happening, and I'm thinking, wow, there is no accident right now in the timing of this message of this brand, and the fact that there are so many out there that are making a difference. They are making an impact.
Yeah, it's nice to see when a lot of people step up like they have, and it's pretty amazing to see, especially in Florida. It's unbelievable. Hey, since Jason put the comment there, does anyone know what if Jason won the next? No, he didn't. Does anybody know how to change? Does anybody know how to change my name on here to Jason's daddy instead of Todd's cousin? I don't know if we can do that or not. If we can. Oh man, I love it. I mean, look, it is what it is. But look, I figured I'd lighten up the moment a little bit. I want to tell you guys, when Christopher, messaged me about this, I think I don't want to speak for all of us, but I think for all the coaches and impactors here, we are 100% behind everybody. Yes, Tamara won, well deserved. There were so many amazing impactors that are so deserving of this win. But I think I speak for all of us coaches. Want to let you guys know, if you need us anytime, we're always going to be here for you guys. We all become a family, and I know there was one winner, and it wasn't Jason, and it was definitely well deserved for Tamara, but we are all together. Every one of us won. So, it's good when my student won. Who's okay, listen, Jason, whatever it is, listen, some guys at his age, they need help every now and then. He's a good guy. That's why he's lost his hair so much, but whatever. Listen, it's okay. But hey, I got to tell you this. I want to tell you guys this. Scott, Nancy, unbelievable to meet you guys. Just unbelievable people. Misty, to just hug you and hold you and hear your story was just on another level. And you already know I love you, sweetheart. We've had time in the past to meet and talk. And Chris, man, to me, you're a fucking superhero. I mean, you are an absolute superhero. I feel like we all should learn from you. You're just a guy that has defeated so much, and I am beyond honored and always here for you for anything that you ever need. And I need you to know that, Chris. Okay. And each and every one of you, I believe, I mean that, but I got to tell you, I think we can all agree what you have done, and just seeing you on stage and just doing what you did under that type of pressure is something I will never forget, and one of the most strongest moments of my entire life. And I love you, brother.
Aww. Yeah.
So no words need to be said, brother. I love you. I love you. We should have a Todd and Jason show. That would be a hit. Noel's right.
yeah.
That would be a hit. It would be Jason losing and Todd winning, and then Jason making smart ass comments the entire time. It would be awesome. It would be awesome. I would love it. I know that. Well, listen, I am my 4-year-old's about to go to bed. I want to hop on until each and every one. Christopher, I'm honored, brother. Thank you so much for having me here. Tamara, you got something you said? Hold on.
I want to know, because Misty's daughter made the Impactor bunny. What did your daughter think?
Oh my God, she loves it. I meant to tell you, Misty. Thank you for reminding me, Tamara. I literally handed it to her, and she said X bunny. She's 4 because she's learning her letters. You know what I mean? She goes X bunny, and I said, and I tried to record it, and I told my wife, let's do it again and again. But I the meaning behind that was super emotional to me, Misty. I got to tell you, and Tamara and I, we were hugging, probably crying, when we were talking about it. But for her to say that, it was pretty cool. She goes, X bunny, daddy. And I tried to record it again so I can, obviously send it to you guys, but I'm truly honored. I thank each and every one of you. Misty, I can't tell you what that meant to me. Thank you guys as a team for that. And, it meant a lot. So definitely did. Scott, you guys didn't get hit too hard, did you?
It's coming. It's supposed to hit us around midnight.
All right. So I'll listen. I'll be praying for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We all will.
I do. I cry when I beat Jason. That's why I cry a lot. I cry. He's right. Every time I beat Jason, which most likely it's 100% right now, because if there was two competitions and he won one and I won, that would be 50%. But since there's only been one out of one, I believe is 100%. And that's why I cry a lot. Matter of fact, I'm going to cry myself to sleep and put Tamara's picture next to my face holding the trophy. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cry. And I'm going to think of Jason the whole time say, Jason, I appreciate everything.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. You know what? You were an amazing coach. And for an amazing team. I just am so grateful for, our experience with Team Todd. And yes, you could say it was special, but more than that, it was something that I'll never forget, and I treasure it completely.
Thank you so much. I always say this, and I'm very conscious of the words, because there's so many deserving impactors. But Tamara, we had to talk, and I don't want to get emotional because he's right. I do cry a lot, but you each are some of the strongest people, and I really feel like us coaches can learn a lot from you guys. And it was definitely such a crazy experience. You know what I mean? Because we didn't know kind of where it was going to go. But I will tell you this: the message that I think we portrayed as a team thoroughly was family first. Do what you can in this competition, give it your all, but make sure family comes first. And I'll say it like I just said it before, that you guys are, you're my family now. So you're always going to come first. So I love each and every one of you guys. I'm going to go to bed because I'm old. Fucking champion, Todd. I'm proud of you and your champion. Yes, there he goes. I love you too, you sexy bald fucker. So, but yeah, he's still going. Oh God, I can't wait to grab his ass. Anyways, it's Christopher's birthday. Is it your birthday, Chris? Today?
On Friday, yeah.
On Friday, I was gonna say. I was just like, I thought I saw it coming up. Yeah, happy birthday! You look great, man. Listen, if you ever need a winning coach, just let me know, Chris. I'm here for you, brother. I know that you went through a lot, with the previous coach, but.
I have 2 champion coaches now.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Let me tell you something. You got 5 of them. Everybody here does, but I do love each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna come back and try to figure out how to change my name to Jason's daddy in a moment, and then. Em, I love you. I'll be home in an hour. Oh God! This is great. This is great. You know the best thing? Jason's dying right now because all he can do is type and he can't talk shit. He can't. And this is such a great thing. And I went after him. So look.
Oh, I was trying to think I was good not having you both in the same.
Oh, dude, it would be great. And Jason, you could have my wife. If I take Emily, it'll save me so much more money, dude. I promise. Just kidding. Love my wife. Love you guys. Love Em. Love Jason. On Real Talk, we should do a show. But I will tell you this. Jason is Jason's a superhero. I love him. I love him dearly. I love you guys. Jason is the man behind the man behind me. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for joining us. Having fun. And you're welcome.
Love
has one more thing to say.
Guys.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
That was a nice surprise.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They really should have their
Oh,
own show.
man.
Freaking hilarious.
Yeah, they really should. They really should.
Well, it's like you keep saying, there's so much like Adam and
Yeah, like do you guys
Blake
watch The Voice?
on The Voice.
Adam and Blake, they're like the celebrity duo. But they're like that. They joke around and love and
Yeah.
They remind me more of Cat Dog. You know, Cat Dog, where one end is what cat, one end is dog.
Oh, that Nickelodeon show. Yeah.
How I look at them, constantly biting each other in the ass.
Well, I checked that dog didn't have an ass, but
oh my God.
Todd, thank you for having us.
yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us. Everyone in the top 10, Todd,
Did I
Jason.
say Todd? I meant Christopher. I'm so sorry.
I know what you meant. Yeah, you're
That's still on your mind there, Emily. Turn your camera off. Turn your camera off.
talking about impact.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, that was great.
You know, that's a little. This is great because it's like, okay, behind the scenes and some fun. You know, that you can have some fun and laugh and joke around a lot.
Great to hear.
I love it.
Thanks, Noel.
So great.
My cheeks.
I feel like this has been the best episode so far. What do you guys think?
Hands down.
It's just hot in here. The AC's off.
Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is.
Oh my gosh. Christopher, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to go patch up our relationship. Just kidding.
Redirect.
Yeah, the after therapy. And then,
Just the fact that we can all be like this with each other just shows the community, you know?
yeah, it definitely does. And also why everyone should join season 2
Absolutely.
on this.
Absolutely.
So you guys looking forward to that, of either looking from the outside or or even just popping back in for season 2?
Yeah. Go ahead. I've actually already got like 7 people that are interested, and they're already asking advice already. Like, what should we start doing? What can we start doing to get ahead? Or what should we not do? I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah, I do too. There's quite a few. And I believe that we will be involved because we're the top 5 and top 6. And so there will be twists and turns, I'm sure, involved with us and them, and and knowing those that are involved with putting this together. Don't it? I love it. My goodness! I love coaches.
Oh my goodness.
Scott and Nancy, what do you got to say on to our coach on that one?
Oh, that's too funny.
I need your therapy, Scott and Nancy. Save this.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Oh my God.
Costa Rica, fast.
It's game here.
Yeah.
They figured it out too, so we may both need to go on an adventure trip. Todd and Emily may need to.
No, it's not a dating trip. We both can't go. No.
Yeah, no, our trip is for women that have failed relationships.
I want stronger relationships.
Oh.
Yeah.
Emily, either fall into it.
Let's get back to the question. Focus.
I'm going to need alcohol for this.
Okay, Emily, your thoughts. Are you jumping back in? Are you looking forward to looking at the sidelines to see what happens? Or?
Yeah, whatever the co-producers want me to do, I will do, and help in any way I can. And I mean, at the very least, I'm going to support, from the sidelines and encourage anybody who is thinking about signing up to get in. So, but yeah.
Scott and Nancy?
Yeah, same. I mean, we'll definitely be watching from the sidelines and
Supporting.
definitely, yeah, and people that we know that would be interested in helping them get involved and telling them to jump in. Because I think it was you, Christopher, or I think it was you who was saying, just why wait? There's no, and maybe it was you, Emily, this morning, of like, there is no right time. And a lot of people second guess things, and the biggest naysayer is ourselves. And if you allow that to get in there, it's going to hold you back, and there's no point to it. You'll never be fully ready. Ready is going to be when you're in it and doing it. So anyone wants to join in that wants to learn more about themselves, their business, their message, whatever.
Yeah. So I know Tamara Hunter can't exactly jump in for season 2 since, well, she's the winner, but looking from sidelines, what are you thinking?
Well, actually, I think that I'm very much involved in that. I need to, my commitment to the brand is to take my impact and do exactly what the intention is. And like Coach Jason said, have it be measurable, and everything that I'm going to learn in my G-Spot course, and everything else that I'm going to be working with the coaches, and to make Chemo Buddies and the cause that my platform so incredibly impactful that is my commitment to season 2. And so then that way people will say, wow, the winner of season 1, look at what happened. Now, yep. I want to make that happen for my mission, my cause, my movement, my whatever the brand is that they're going to be joining, and to be the next impactor. So I feel like I'm it's all in. It's like gotta put the proof in the pudding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Misty, what about you?
I'm definitely in as well. Whatever they need from us, I'm there. I believe every reaction starts with an action. So if anybody's on the fence about it, I encourage them to jump in jump in, because you know what? There's really nothing to lose and everything to gain. I mean, and two, also, let me say this. You're going to get out of something what you put in, but also the way you do it. If you want to go in looking for the flaws, if you want to go in looking for all the things that aren't perfect, you're going to see that. Or you can go in and say, this has value here, and run with that. And so, you know, I encourage everyone to go in with an open mind and get the positive out of it that you can.
Yeah, oh, I think there might be one more surprise. A bit last minute here, but hold on.
This is a really good point. That as humans, we tend to look at the worst case scenario, right? What could go wrong? You know, and I would just encourage people to look at what can go right? Look at the best case scenario, and change that, flip that magnet, right? Flip what people think and see, and jump on board, because we've made some of the best friends that I think that we ever could have within this relation, within this competition, because every single person that we've met through this is, and again, I'm going to use Jason's word, fucking amazing.
Jason. Oh, and Amy has a suggestion for us. Ever thought about that possibility, Tamara? You becoming a coach in the future's Next Impactor season?
You know, I am all in, however that looks. You know, right now I'm all in for my nonprofit, and I'll be all in for the brand, for the best. When I'm all in, and that's just what it is. So, however I can best serve, I'm all in.
Yeah, soul family. Yep.
Yep.
Ants, automatic negative thoughts.
I don't like ants. I live in Southern California, and we have way too many of them. I wake up lately every morning, and you know, there's a distinct smell to that stuff you have to spray. And we have the stuff that's good for dogs, you know, and animals. And so I came home from Chicago to California with some of that delightful ANT smelling stuff. It's like, oh, I know it's been happening here.
I'm still waiting for a special final guest to pop in. Came a bit late, but you know, this person has something to say, and you know, maybe the Scott and Nancy.
Coach.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait. I'm just waiting at the moment. Let's see. She really doesn't like ants.
Yeah, she knows. Every morning it was like, oh, do you know where they were today?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
So funny.
I'm thinking of way to delay so that this person can get on in time. Because come on.
It'll work out.
It'll work out. Hopefully.
Yeah. You want us to do a song and dance? I'm sure we could all figure out something.
Yeah.
Say to Christopher. And there's silence. Okay, never mind.
I didn't hear what you said.
This person needs 5 minutes. Do you guys have enough time to stick around?
I'm actually scheduled to be on another show at the top of the hour, but until then, I'm good.
Okay, this person's starting the computer. That's why. Okay, well, let's. Okay. So, what were your guys' thoughts when we were finally put in the top 5 and we're waiting to see who gets the 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st place? What were your thoughts going inside your mind doing that? So let's start with Scott and Nancy.
Well, I was trying to not look at the paper in his hand because I felt like I could see stuff, and I'm like, I don't see anything. I I was this way because I was like, oh no, I think I can see stuff, which I couldn't really read. But if I had stayed staring, I felt like I could have. So that's where my mind went. And then all of a sudden our names got called, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's awesome.
I was really dropped into my heart space. I was so proud to be on that stage with you guys that it really, the point of him like saying first, second, third, fourth, fifth I wasn't in the cage of the mind, right? I really was in my heart space. And it was like we all standing there holding hands had already won. We already were all in place. And that was really what I felt, right? There was no real thought for me.
Yes, same here, because at that point, top 5, how can it get better? Well, of course, it got better for Tamara, certainly, but we pretty much all won at the end there. It's just, yeah. So, Misty?
For me, you know, there was a lot of strategy. I was watching the boards. I was watching everybody's moves, and I'm very competitive. You know, I'm a Leo and I'm Italian, so I've got that natural. But I was excited to see who stepped up the game and who did what and how that was all going to come into play. Because even though we're friends, some of us are closer than others, we hadn't been sharing numbers with each other. We hadn't been really talking about, you know, what the strategy was behind the scenes. So it was really, and I know that we're all very strong and we all have missions and we all really want to impact. So I was kind of excited to see how that was going to play out. It was fun. But I agree. The picture with us holding hands in the air, that right there to me is that sums up the entire competition.
Yeah.
Because we can impact together better than we ever will alone. Right.
Oh, hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Oh, great. Can you guys hear me? Because
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Awesome. Let me figure this out.
See, I knew it was her. She went off Mexico with her.
I've had technical issues all day long. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to go find some earbuds. Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah, we can just continue on with the previous question. So, Emily?
The question was, what were we feeling as a top 5?
Yeah, our thoughts when we were on that top 5 and finding out who's going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think Scott, you said it the best. I think all of us were out of the cage of our mind. I think that was a really great way to phrase it, because just being on that stage, just being in the top 10 was surreal. And then the excitement, I feel like the announcement of top 10 just like launched us into the just like I wasn't even thinking about the event as like this whittling down until the top 10 surprise happened. And I was like, oh wait, I forgot, like they're doing this. And it was all very, very surreal after that. So to be in the top 5 was so, like, I just felt so honored to be with you all in that line and just with each other. And after that, it was all a blur. And it was just, I was so happy to see everyone on that stage at the same time. And Tamara, when you won, it was just like, yes, you were supposed to win. Like that was right. So it was just awesome.
So, Tamara, how did it feel to finally hear the announcement that you won?
You know, each moment when it was the 5 of us, that was incredibly special. And then the 4, it was like every single time there is a different feeling in regards to, you know, the 5 and then the 4 and then the 3 and then the 2. And Emily said something to me that I'll never forget. And actually that moment was such a special moment for me that then and then when Dom started saying my name, I have a bit of a tonal deaf issue, and I didn't quite hear what he was saying at first until he said my last name. And so I it was like, there we go, you know, and then it all started again, you know. It was like this whole amazing culmination of
Okay.
time. You know, it was like time that stood still. And so each one
Can you
of
guys
them
hear me?
is special.
Yeah.
Oh, just headphones. Please let me work.
She's so adorable.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Dang it.
Just to get your name right.
Hey, you
I'm
know,
gonna call phone. I'm gonna exit and then come back in.
Okay.
Frustrating. Settings.
I love technology. Oh, and Noelle says hi, Melissa.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hear me.
I can hear you.
I just can't hear any of you. Darn it.
Exit all the way out. Exit all the way out and come back.
Yeah.
Still nothing?
Well, I could still hear you.
Speaker.
Try exit all the way out, Melissa, and then come back in.
She said she couldn't hear us. So,
maybe we should chat.
Let her.
yeah.
Can you?
She had a great live today. I don't know if you guys saw it on
Carlotta. Carlotta's
Does that
hard
make
to-
a difference? Shoot, I can't hear it.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
So frustrating.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Always works.
Chat, private chat, side.
Everybody point.
What is it? That way.
We're all pointing different directions.
I'm restarting my browser. Okay, let's.
Okay. There we go.
You know what we did together, you guys?
Yeah, we went like this.
Yeah.
Together.
Well, we're gonna try to see if we can get Melissa, because she well, gotten a bit late, and I really want to give her the time to be able to speak with us and all that.
Yeah.
Because actually, I originally was going to get Cheryl on here as well, but unfortunately, she was occupied with something. So, otherwise, she was really looking forward to it too. By the way, Misty.
Yeah.
It's so great that you put all this together.
Yeah, it really is. And
Yeah.
I have to tell you,
What a nice surprise.
it
Yeah,
really-
me pulling a Jason episode on all of you. So
yeah.
we all remember that.
It was really cool to have Liz as a coach. Nancy and I had met her about 2 years ago at an event in LA for like
Briefly, like
5 minutes, right? We had a really brief conversation. Friends of ours that had the event introduced us to her, kind of mutual friends, and we hadn't spoken to her again since that 5-minute moment in Los Angeles. And then we get into this competition, and she ends up our coach.
Yeah.
Like,
So crazy.
it blew my mind. It really did.
Yeah.
And she's a powerhouse, like
Love
a
it.
powerhouse. If you need help with a message, with your message, and really dialing it in, she is a powerhouse. I couldn't.
Okay.
We ended up with the perfect coach for us, really.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet all the coaches actually at rehearsals and whatnot, just face to face instead of behind the screen.
It really was.
Yeah.
And all of you. I mean, we met
Yeah.
Emily, and I've met Misty. We met Misty in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
That was it.
Emily helped us at our event in Charleston.
And then we saw you at Power Week. Yeah.
And then we saw her at the Power Week, and it was so nice to be able to. I'm a very touchy. I love to hug, right? I'm an emotional person, and so it was so great
So cool.
to hold hands and to hug everybody and to really be in a room together, like you said, Chris. It was amazing.
Yeah. Have lunch together, and yeah, it was really.
Oh, I think Jason has a new question. Where are they, Misty?
I'm actually fixing to be moving out of my house now that I'm getting Austin off to college. So I'm actually going to be taking them all down and finding a new wall to put them on. Maybe I'll show them to your house and you can.
Do they all come
You can
from
mine.
stations or?
Those crosses come from all over the place, and I did a live on it to try to explain it to Jason because he just kept giving me shit. But when I went to prison, I pretty much lost everything, like literally every possession I had. And so when I came back home, I was trying to rebuild, and my kids knew how much I had always loved crosses and collected them. So they started buying me crosses everywhere they went, every holiday, every Mother's Day, every birthday. And then my friends, and then my closest cousins, all the people around me, and it is like their way of saying we accept you back, we love you, we're behind you, we encourage you, and that is my wall of encouragement, you guys. That's my strength right there, is my family. So crosses actually mean a whole lot to me. They really do.
Yeah, I figured. I just didn't know what they were.
Yeah. So Jason can give me shit all he wants. I don't care because. Those are very
virtual hug.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like super joy. That's so awesome.
And it was
Betty eating popcorn.
Popcorn.
You are not going to outlive that popcorn thing, Misty.
Never, ever.
Never.
First thing.
And whoever said the picnic comment, those two are going to be like.
Oh, that was you. That was me.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So never going to live down.
Let me have a moment to defend myself here in transparency. See, I was trying to problem solve. I was just trying to problem solve. But the problem with that was I didn't know the whole agenda. I didn't think far enough out because it wasn't my agenda. It was someone else's. That show needed to be produced the best it could to get picked up for future. I just didn't see that because that wasn't my agenda. I was just thinking, we need money. Heck, let's just throw a party in the picnic. That's what we do in the South. We just go to an empty lot and throw a party, pull the barbecue pit over and all that. So that was my defense. But I owned up to it. I called Jason. After that live, I said, that was me, And he actually told me he was proud of me for stepping up and speaking out. So I'm good with it.
Yep. With Parmesan cheese and ranch seasoning. Yum.
Tabasco sauce.
On your popcorn?
Oh, it's delicious. Yes.
It's a Louisiana thing.
Yeah, hashtag picnic.
Or Tony Factories.
Oh my God.
And I also like to eat it with those hot tamale cinnamon candies. It tastes like cinnamon popcorn. It's really good that way too.
Yeah. I'm with you, Emily.
Oh man, try it. You got to try it. It's really good. Really good.
Okay, Melissa's trying to log in again, but she's mentioning something about a dust storm taking place right now. So it's.
Yes, Chris. You know how we have boat Wi-Fi? She has Mexican Wi-Fi.
Yeah, she used to joke around about it.
Her Wi-Fi goes to Mexico. Oh, damn hurricane.
We can throw it.
Oh my goodness. I am not going to this down.
Yeah, it's in Costa Rica, Jason.
Cisneros smart quitters. No quitting for the Cisneros now. Come on.
Ooh, she called you out.
That's right.
Know it. I'm gonna call it.
Boy, that's shit last night, didn't it?
Yeah.
I bet that'll shut up.
I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
In book form or in gift form, something will be said in response, I'm sure.
Oh, funny.
Well, I hate to leave the party, but I am going to have to go here soon because I am scheduled to go on another show.
Yeah, Hammer, really doing your best and taking the time to join us for this. It was greatest episode ever, especially with all
this. This is fun.
Comments.
Amy's comments. Singles Next Impactor.
Amy, you're funny.
Playing
No,
Jack.
Oh, you're a jagoff. Oh my goodness. This is
My favorite Pittsburgh line ever.
Okay, there we go.
Oh,
I still don't hear you guys.
Oh, no.
Everyone can see and hear you. I
Yeah.
just can't hear. I can see you. I just can't hear you.
Ah,
Well, could you? Hold on.
Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry. I've had nothing but tech issues all day.
aw.
We
Let
had
me
this
try. This just doesn't
earlier.
have a microphone, and so I'm afraid it's not going to work.
We had the same problem earlier, Christopher, when I
You
was
know when you let your kids borrow your things and then they never bring it back? That's how I ended up with these. 15-year-olds.
Hey, Christopher.
Okay. Oh,
and baked. Mhm. I have a few of those. Been there, done that. Yep.
Chris, can you hear me? It's something on your end, Chris, because it happened to me and Lauren, and then he fixed something on his end, and then it worked.
I'm not sure.
Can you mute people? But it's not muted.
Oh, she's showing up in the. Oh, hold on. Let's try now. Is
Is that better?
that better?
I hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I only had to go through 3 computers to get on.
Oh man.
Holy smokes, my friends. Holy smokes. But I'm here. How are you guys? I love you.
Jason.
We're awesome, but Fortnite has to leave us.
Ah,
Oh man. So let's just.
Yeah.
very funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Coach Melissa, I have to go. I am so sorry. I have a podcast that I'm scheduled to go on in 2 minutes. And
Okay.
they're already trying to get a hold of me to make sure that I'm going to be on time. So
I'm so sorry. That's absolutely, it's my mistake. I got the time zones confused. I thought it was Pacific, not Central. My apologies.
Well,
But
let's
I'll connect with you.
let's make it quick. So, how about you share your thoughts with the top 5? Let's start with Tamara Hunter.
My thoughts of Tamara. I'm super excited that you were awarded this honor. I really believe in your message. As I shared with you, I lost my mother a year ago to cancer, and as a child, my mom lost her insurance benefits, and it was very devastating to our family. So your story was deeply personal for me, and I can't wait to help support you in this endeavor to get that message out to the world. I know you have to go, so please have a wonderful podcast, and I will connect with you very soon.
I love it. I can't wait. We're going to do this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, everybody. It's been a delightful time. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. You guys have been on here for 1 hour and 57 minutes. I'm so sorry I'm late to this party. I'm really late. Holy smokes.
Well, the most important thing is that you're here now. So.
Yeah. So if I can just share, Misty, you know, you have a very powerful story, one that I think definitely will speak to a lot of people. I think redemption is something that people need to believe in. People can redeem themselves from bad circumstances or mistakes in life when they lose their way. I think a comeback story is so powerful because it allows people to believe in themselves. And so I think what you're doing is truly remarkable, and I just encourage you to keep going, really. So anything I can do to be of support. And Emily, you strike me as a woman of few words, but a powerful presence. You know, like you don't have to say a lot to be felt. And I think that's really cool. I can't wait to get to know you. I feel like I still have more to learn about you and what your goals are. So I'm looking forward to kind of finding more out about you and what your platform is, what that message is, and how I can help support you.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Wonderful. And Scott and Nancy, you know, I'm super fans. You know, I'm your super fan. I think you guys are amazing. And
Jason.
Emily needs redemption. I think it's you, Jason.
Oh, he does have a question for you, Melissa.
Yeah. I have a question for Coach Melissa. Any advice for single coaches?
Melissa, I accidentally inadvertently said Todd's name instead of Christopher's.
Oh, how funny.
Jason's a single man now. Single and on the mingle.
First of all, I think I said this while we were in Chicago. You must be a saint, or you must have like the patience of a saint to be able to put up with Mr. Cisneros. He puts the A in alpha. That is for sure. For sure. You know, I don't know how you deal with all that bravado. Exactly. Misty. There you go. You just, you know, like, I'm intrigued by you. Any woman that can put up with Jason for that long. You know, I had just a few hours with him, and I was like, dang it, this man. What am I? He's a hard one to control, that Jason. He's got a mouth on him.
The secret is that we've been coaching Emily for the last 3 years. So that's how it all works out. How good we are.
Oh my gosh. No, you're such a sweet person, and truly, you know, I can't wait to get to know you for many reasons, you know, but the fact that you can put up with Jason, it just fascinates me. No, I see that with love. Oh, with love. No, not traitor. I love you, Jason. I love you. I just might, if I were a girlfriend, I would strangle you. So, because we'd be like two rams, just butting heads all the time. Oh, Jason. You gotta love him.
Yeah.
Melissa, I want to thank you again for everything that you've given us, your time and your knowledge and your energy and your love and your kindness. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you guys too. And it absolutely, it was a pleasure. It was the most fun that I've had coaching a group of people in quite a long time. So it was, I feel like it was a gift for me as well. So it was a very wonderful experience. And I left this, experience with lifelong friends for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
I want to say something. They say that when you tell your story, there's at least one person in the audience that needed to hear it, or it was for them. And I've heard your story now a couple of times, and I shared with you about my cousin. But at this particular event, when you shared your story, it was my daughter that you were reaching, and I just want you to know that it really helped her come to terms with some things that she's facing in her future. And I really appreciate you doing that, because she needed that.
Well, anything that I can do to be a support to her. And it's interesting, the power of stories, and I share my story a lot. But I'm always reminded of that letter that I got that changed everything for me. And so as many times as I have shared my story, and I might even tire of sharing my story, I know that it's important to continue, because I never know who's in the audience and what they're going through. And it happens with every event. There's one or two, or sometimes a few people that will say, I feel like you were talking to me. Like you were everything you said was for me. And I admit, I got up on stage and there were a lot of things that I had planned to talk about. And I kind of let the room I just kind of felt into what people needed to hear. And so I'm glad that it was what she needed to hear, because it makes what I do worthwhile. It's the reason I do it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, it was so great. And it was really neat to witness it. I think I told you, Misty, you know, I had spoken with her daughter downstairs, Scott and I both, and she had talked to us about her daughter and how she one day ultimately get over the loss of her daughter, because, you know, it's inevitable. She's already lived a couple years beyond what they expected. And she went into the story with us. And then a little while later, we're up there listening to you, and you said what you said. And it was like being a fly on the wall, because I saw her stand up and ask her question. Yeah. But you know, you didn't know, because her question wasn't an open book. It was a very kind of vague question, but it was neat to see that you had just said, you know, I'm reaching one person today, and who knows who that is. And then she stands up, and I was like, weird, because it was her, you know. Really cool to watch the circle, because I'd seen both sides.
She had asked what's the next step. You know, and to the audience, they thought it was related to your story, but for Nancy knew, and I knew it was for after Eliana passes. You know, what's going to be the next step. So it was really awesome. It's just purpose again, like Lauren always says. It's always purpose.
Yeah. One of the hardest conversations that I have are with people that have children that are terminally ill, that are going to be in my shoes, and it's I didn't have that. I didn't have that anticipation or that weight. And so I don't even understand what that experience is like. I have great empathy for it, but I can tell you without question that the 4.5 years that I had with Drew was worth every minute, and it was worth every minute of heartbreak as well, because everything that I've learned from that experience of being his mother and all the many things that he taught me, he was one of my greatest teachers. He taught me patience, which I struggled with. He taught me creativity, because I had to find ways to keep him busy without him, you know, hurting himself, because Drew was an adventurous little boy. I remember very vividly one morning walking into the playroom and hearing this clink, 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 clink. And Devin was 3 and Drew was 4, I think 4 in a few months. And he had gotten kitchen knives to play sword fight, because in Peter Pan, which that was his favorite, you know, story, was Peter Pan. It made that sound in the movie. And so I had given him little Nerf, you know, swords to play with, but it wasn't good enough for Drew because it didn't have the clink. And I'm not kidding you. My poor little Devin had little nicks from the fierce sword fight that Drew, you know, Captain Hook and Peter Pan were having. And so I had to like get creative, and he really forced me to exercise a lot of patience, because trust me, back then I was an overwhelmed mom, just kind of struggling to figure out how to get them, you know, from morning to sunset, and then have a few minutes of peace at the end of the day, because I just felt really overwhelmed. I don't think motherhood was a very natural fit for me in the beginning. It was something that I really grew into. And so Drew, like I said, was my greatest teacher. And I have nothing but gratitude for that experience, even in the passing.
Thank you for sharing that.
You are welcome. Oh, thank you, Noelle.
So let's see. You know, we let Jason ask one question, and for Todd, we didn't get around to that. So do you have a question for each of us?
I do. What do you hope to accomplish in this next year using the Next Impactor as a platform to reach people? What is it that you want to see happen for you?
So let's go in order. Scott and Nancy.
So for me, I would want to see through this experience more. I want to see us help more people open up to great relationships, and to get out of the cage of the mind and fall into their heart space, to truly love, to truly have that relationship with everybody, right? Not just their partner, but everybody they come in contact with. To come from that space that just opens to relationship, that just invites it into their lives. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's gotten a lot more narrow for me over the last, you know, listening to Jason's talk, his speech that day. You know, it kind of tied me back home. You know, I've been around women my whole life. I've come from a house of women. I've been surrounded by them. I've studied them without noticing that I studied them. And it's not ironic that I've fallen into the place that I have of human behavior and that kind of thing. And it pains me to see women that are successful in every way in their life, but they self-sabotage and destruct in their love for themselves. And I've seen that since I was a kid, because there's been so many women in my household. And that's what my mother helped women with. She helped us to not do that and grow up without that. And she helped us to subconsciously learn how to help others not do that, or learn how to not do that, because that's what she helped people with. And watching people this weekend, I witnessed something that kind of just took me back home, and it really set in that that's what I'm sick and tired of seeing with women, you know, and not, oh, I'm sick and tired, but I'm sick and tired of them lying to themselves and them not living up to their full potential because they don't believe that they deserve to be loved to the fullest. Yeah. And they bring themselves down in subtle ways or really self-destructive ways. And it's a wide gamut of it. So I'm looking forward over the next year to really dial in to help more women become as empowered as they can be, and to stop waiting. You know, Jason says stop hiding. But so many people are waiting for the guy to make the move, waiting for their life to come together, waiting, rather than jumping, you know. And it takes that, just like we do in everything else that we do. It takes jumping into figuring out why you don't have what you want. And I look forward to really diving into figuring out how I can get across everything I know to these women.
I think that's fantastic and very needed. I see a lot of that myself, and I have worked through a lot of that myself too. Yeah. I think I'm still a work in progress in some aspects, but as I've shared with you privately, I'm definitely getting there.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, it's like Jason said, and even Nancy, I just need to stop hiding and stop and just go in, because I do have a story to tell, and just to keep on pushing forward with what I'm doing with the videos and whatnot, to get that story out, to show that that even if with the being on the autistic spectrum, I'm doing things that no one ever expected, and I want to keep providing that inspiration, and then eventually down the road just be able to somehow provide tools on how they can too, whether they're on the autistic spectrum or not.
Yeah. There's a gentleman by the name of Tom Island that I would really like to connect you to. He also is on the spectrum and is doing some amazing things. He just gave his first TED Talk, and I think that there's a lot of cool collaboration that the two of you guys could do, collaborate on just some amazing events or experiences for parents and kids. So I'm looking forward to connecting the two of you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Misty?
So for me, I really look forward to using this platform to, like a megaphone, to get transparency out to the world, because I would really love to see, and I believe in my heart, transparency is this necessary, that abortion rates or suicide rates will go down because of transparency. I mean, when you can talk to your parents when you get pregnant as a teenager, instead of fearing their judgment that, you know, you don't have to run to an abortion clinic. You at least can discuss options. Or these teens that are so have these thoughts in their head that they feel like they're monsters because these thoughts are just so out there, to know that there's other people that have similar thoughts, that they're not a monster, you know, and that maybe the suicide rates will go down, because I believe that's what transparency will do. I believe it in my heart. I believe it's necessary, and I believe it for me, transparency released me from my own jail. It absolutely let me enjoy and be present in my future instead of letting my past keep me behind bars. And that's my goal, and that's what I think this platform will allow me to do with the big megaphone.
That's wonderful.
Okay, Emily?
Within the year, I would like to have 2 conferences completed, 2 conferences done. One, obviously, the first one in Charleston, and the second one in the next state that we come up with, and have those filled, and then we're trying to put a number on the number of moms we would like to get back to work through that. Our first conference is going to have 250 stay-at-home moms that are looking to get back into the workforce. We're hoping to grow that conference by the second one. And then I could throw out a number, but I want to be realistic, but also push those boundaries, you know, and
Sure.
possible. So my sister and I are trying to come up with that number of moms we would like to train well and understand this process and grow through that process, and then get them connected to the workforce, so that by year 2, we can, you know, triple that, quadruple that, once we get the systems and processes in. So at this point for year 1, we'd like 2 conferences, the first one being 250 moms, and connecting them with jobs, and training and ongoing training, and then a second one towards the second half of the year.
That's really amazing. May I ask, what drives the passion to help moms?
I watched my mom and some of my relatives who are forces, you know, give up their jobs, their careers to raise their kids and raise me, my sister, my brother, and then to try to return to the workforce after 20 years of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And truly developing amazing skills, and then being told, oh, those aren't real skills.
Yeah.
Or like, you have a gap. Like, they actually have a gap in their resume. They've raised human beings. Raised a life, you know. I can barely take care of my cat. I don't even know where my cat is right now. And I got that thing because it was the least, you know, amount of work I had to do to keep something alive, but something that, you know. And human beings are obviously different than cats, but you're not only keeping something alive, but that's like, it's a given. You have to keep something alive. You have to teach it how to communicate. You have to teach it qualities like patience and kindness and goodness, you know, all of these amazing fruits. And then you raise it to be a productive member of society, him or her. And then some people have multiple kids, and they're acquiring and refining skills that actually make them world-class employees. And then they get to the workforce, and then their interviews, and they're like, oh, you have a gap. Oh, can't fill the gap. Like, and you're old. So it's like, you're not old, especially in this day and age, and there's no gap. So I would love to change that narrative and bring those cutting edge companies who see that value and connect them, and then start a trend for companies to say, oh, the standard is no longer the standard.
I love that. I think that's so needed. And I agree with you. I think that stay-at-home moms are not nearly as appreciated in the workforce as they should be. I'm excited to see where that leads. Very excited.
Appreciate it.
So do you guys have any questions for me before I log off or this program ends? Yeah.
I want the workbook.
You're going to get the workbook. The workbook
for a year.
You have no idea. This workbook has been, now there was the event workbook, but I have really created a lot more content around it. It was created initially for that one event, but it wasn't as complete as it is now. And so I think you'll be very happy when I share the link with you, because it's definitely, I put my heart and soul into this for the last 2 years. So.
I know throughout the year, way before the Impactor competition, I was every now and then I'm like,
I know. I trust me, I know. So moms are, yes, we are. And counselors and chauffeurs and nutritionists and seamstresses and stylists and I'll grab something in just a minute.
Oh, look, there's my daughter. Fair and Bird Design.
Yeah.
One of our careers to raise children with special needs. Yeah, good point, Lauren. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lauren was a hotel manager and had to give everything up because Eliana required 24/7 care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, she actually was fired from her job while she was pregnant with pregnant with Harper, because Eliana was sick, on life support in the hospital, and her boss told her, well, when she dies, you can come back. Actually said that to her.
What?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Wow. I think wow. Wow. That's just, I can't even imagine.
It's a reality. It's a reality. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That makes my heart hurt just hearing that.
Yeah, but that's a good point, because what Emily's doing, I think it crosses over even to those other moms too, that maybe they're still raising kids, but for whatever reason they can get back in the workforce, and they're going to have gaps too, right? So
Absolutely.
I think
Right. Well, I think that, not to personalize this to me, but, at some point, I had to face that decision, what am I going to do? I've got to do something. Marriage wasn't going to work, and my kids were at the age where they were in school, and I felt very lost because I didn't have all these, what I perceived as skills, but I had these experiences. And so that's what led me into writing and then speaking. And so I think what you're doing is really needed, because that's a very lonely place, and it can feel very debilitating in like a weird way, where you just don't feel like enough anywhere.
Exactly the theme we hear from every mom.
Yeah. And it's weird because you have value, but you don't know how to get people to acknowledge that value. That experience is so valuable, but people want a degree, or they want this, and I'm like, well, shoot, I've got 20 years of being an entrepreneur. I've got a stay-at-home mom, but yeah, I ran businesses, and I did this and I did that, but it was hard to articulate that, and then to put it into a resume that was, something that people would be like, let's get her in, let's talk to her. So what you're doing is really needed, and I'm excited. I really am very excited to see where this leads.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
my battery is about to die on my laptop.
Yeah. So how about we start wrapping this up, and any kind of advice you have for the top 5 here, and for anyone else that's looking at Next Impactor Season 2?
Advice. I think spend time really understanding why it is you want to make this contribution. What is that driving force? And then what is that message that you can share with people that is transformative, but also transferable? Because people want to hear about your story, but they want to know how that story has value to them. So break it down in bite-sized chunks where you can show them, yeah, I used to be where you are, but this is where I've been able to arrive by doing X, Y, and Z. And then put it into a duplicatable kind of a process, so that they can, with action, they can arrive at someplace similar. I think that's so important. I don't think enough people spend time really looking and figuring that part out, and then they just get up there and they're just talking, and they're talking about their story, and that story goes on and goes on and goes on, but there's a disconnect in the audience because they don't understand how that story helps them. So really articulate how you help, how you serve, what the transformation will be, what the result will look like when they continue to listen or to work with you.
Great advice.
You're welcome.
So I just want to thank everyone for their time, especially you, Melissa, being able to come in last moment.
I'm sorry I'm late. Really, I apologize.
Stuff happens, and you just have to adapt to it. I'm trying to not channel a little bit of Jason in those words. But when you hang around him for so long, it just rubs off.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad thing, and
all of you.
depending on how you use it. So.
You're right, Chris. You're absolutely right. Oh gosh. Well, I really am so excited for all of you. It's going to be quite an experience this next year, watching everything kind of unfold. And just know that I'm always a phone call away. I'm happy to help in any and every way that I can, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not just saying that and then you won't hear from me. I promise I'll show up for you.
We can attest. Yes.
Yeah, I will show up. I love what you guys are doing. I was in your shoes, so I know what you guys are excited about, and I know the work that's involved. So let me help you in any way that I can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Christopher, thank you for having us on.
Yes.
Not Todd.
Dance that song.
Not Todd.
Oh man.
Well,
That was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You're so cute. I didn't know you were such a comedian, Chris.
I guess I'm a
Oh,
closet.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, that's what happens when I start opening up instead of being like,
Yeah.
And I personally, I love it. I love witnessing this kind of, you're like blooming and blossoming right before our eyes. And it's just remarkable. And it's brave and it's courageous and it's inspiring. It really is inspiring.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm speechless, and I don't feel like doing Jason's suggestion of what I do. I'm speechless. Saying that one word, F-U-C-K.
You can spell it. It has the same impact. I get it.
Yeah, because he mentioned before earlier that when I was on the stage and I was freezing up with the nonprofit thing, he just whispered, "Hey, say fuck," and it's just got me out. I was just
Back into the moment. Yeah.
yeah. Noel, I'm wondering if Jason feels the same way. Yeah, so I just
want to say thank you to all you guys, and Chris, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And Emily, watch out for the hurricane. And
Yeah. Be safe, everyone.
And as we have said, Misty and Emily, you know our offer, right? And it stands.
We're always here for you guys.
You know, we want to be part of your event, and Misty, you know what our offer is for you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
And we truly mean that.
Anything we can do to help
for
is
both of you.
for anyone.
And Chris too. I mean, yeah, anybody, but we specifically had those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably the best thing about this competition. Just this right here.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's a cool family.
It really is.
Yeah, one hell of a family.
And it's sincerity too, as well. It's real, it's genuine.
It sure is. Well, please be safe if you're in the path of this hurricane. Be safe. Take care. Yeah.
Yep. And thank you, Melissa, for joining us, as well as Jason and Todd. I really wanted to pull a Jason episode, only in reverse. So it's so mission accomplished there.
There you go.
And just want to thank all the I'm part of the top 5, but yeah, for everyone being able to join, everyone that's joined this chat for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
We're gonna have
That's
Longest.
a documentary.
Might as well be.
That's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah.
all
Good
right.
for you. All right, you guys have a fantastic evening. Be safe, be well, and reach out if you need anything.
Yep. Thank you. And thank you everyone that joined this chat. Hashtag live if you're watching it live. Hashtag replay if you're watching a replay. And of course, hashtag Misfit Nation because I'm part of that. And also the links for the contact with any of the top 5. So for Emily, she's networkingformoms.org. And she also is a part of Tetra Growth Systems, the tetragrowthsystems.com. And of course, if you want that big adventure retreat, ScottandNancyKiesling.com/retreats to see what they have down the pipeline and the jump in. And of course, to learn more about Misty Lane, mistylane.com. And also for Tamara, learn more about chemobuddiesforlife.org. I actually know someone from my Zen group that his sister is dealing with stage 4 cancer at the moment. So he was excited when I actually was able to tell him about this, and he's looking to sign up. And it just another good thing about this competition. Just I might not have been able to help him at all if not for that. Just knowing these people and being able to help instead of being stuck at the sidelines,
Yeah.
Great.
A lot of really amazing ripples that have come from this. That ripple effect is pretty cool.
Jason.
Really, really cool. Jason.
And I don't think I've said the TRY word this whole time.
You did not. You did not.
Good job.
Finally.
Oh God, I mean, Jason, sorry.
Man. And,
Amazing.
And of course, hashtag Soul Family. Yep.
Yeah. Amazing people. You guys are amazing.
Yeah. Man, everyone's amazing. Can't wait to see what the future holds from this on out, because that's now down to us to keep pushing forward. So,
absolutely.
And if you guys are on the sidelines for joining the Next Impactor Season 2, don't hesitate. Just jump the hell in and see what opportunities blossom from this. Because as you can see here, that's the result.
One with a positive attitude. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys next week for another episode. I plan on just whittling it down to just Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, just to give me more time to do everything else on the sidelines. So, and next week I'm working on having Danny Torres on here.
He's great. Yeah.
And to talk about a little bit of subject of health, and also in some ways related to autism in a way, actually. And to learn more about that, you're just gonna have to watch. So gonna have to watch.
All right.
3-hour episode next week. Now we're kind of going back to the 1 hour. This is a special occasion, so
This is great.
a special occasion. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you next week. And can't wait to see what comes out of that. So take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.